Trump calls Canada a U.S. state. Trudeau's silent response sparks outrage. Welcome back to Canada Chronicles. Today, we're diving into a story that has everyone talking. Donald Trump's latest move to shake up U.S. Canada relations. A proposed 25% tariff on Canadian imports and a controversial comment suggesting Canada should become the 51st state have reignited tensions and raised serious questions about leadership, sovereignty, and diplomacy. But that's not all. We'll break down the economic risks, the diplomatic challenges, and why Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's response, or lack of one, has sparked outrage across Canada. Stick around as we unpack Trump's bold, brash style of diplomacy and what it means for Canada's future in our feature, the 51st State Comment. If you care about Canada's global position, this is a video you won't want to miss. Make sure to hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update from Canada Chronicles. Let's get started. The U.S. Canada relationship. A critical partnership under strain. Canada and the United States share one of the most significant economic partnerships in the world. More than 75% of Canadian exports, including vital energy resources, automobiles, and agricultural goods, head south to the United States. Meanwhile, Canadian businesses rely heavily on importing American goods and services. For decades, this mutually beneficial relationship has been a cornerstone of economic stability for both nations. Yet, this partnership is also fragile, consistently tested by political shifts, global pressures, and changes in leadership. The latest disruption comes from Donald Trump, who is poised to return to the U.S. presidency. His proposal to impose a steep tariff on Canadian imports, and his subsequent remarks trivializing Canada's sovereignty, has rattled diplomatic ties and economic forecasts alike. Tariffs threatened. Economic fallout looms. Donald Trump's proposed 25% tariff on Canadian imports could be devastating for Canada's economy. Major industries such as automobile manufacturing, agricultural exports, and energy production are particularly vulnerable. Canadian dairy producers, already under pressure to open their markets, could find their products priced out of the U.S. market altogether. Energy producers who depend on the export of crude oil and natural gas would likely face significant revenue losses. The potential consequences extend to the Canadian workforce. Massive job losses could reverberate through manufacturing plants, farms, and small businesses that depend on American customers. Meanwhile, U.S. consumers would also feel the sting, with tariffs driving up the prices of everyday goods like food, vehicles, and energy resources. This interconnected economy means that any disruption across the border ripples through both nations. The proposed tariff isn't just a threat to Canada, it's a threat to economic stability on both sides of the border. The 51st State Comment. Trump's brand of diplomacy. Thanks for staying with us this far. We appreciate your time and hope you're finding this information valuable. During a private dinner at Mar-a-Lago, Donald Trump reportedly joked that Canada should become the 51st state of the United States, calling Justin Trudeau the governor of Canada. While some dismissed the comment as humor, its public broadcast on Trump's Truth Social account added an undeniable weight to the statement. For many, it wasn't just a joke, it was a power play. This isn't the first time Trump has used humor to make pointed remarks. His infamous suggestion to buy Greenland was similarly dismissed as satire, yet it sparked international debates about his true intentions. The 51st State Comment has left Canadians wondering whether this is another instance of Trump's unfiltered style or a calculated move to dominate upcoming trade negotiations. One thing is clear. The remark has thrown Canada into the global spotlight, forcing Trudeau and his government to navigate a tricky political landscape. Canada's measured silence. Trudeau under fire. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's reaction, or lack thereof, has become a hot topic across Canada. While his government has actively pushed back against the proposed tariffs, Trudeau has avoided addressing Trump's 51st State Comment directly. This restraint reflects his diplomatic style, which favors negotiation and collaboration over confrontation. However, many Canadians feel this moment calls for a stronger response. Trump's remarks are seen by some as an affront to Canada's sovereignty, and critics argue Trudeau's silence risks projecting weakness. Social media platforms are ablaze with calls for Trudeau to take a stand, with many questioning his commitment to defending Canada's independence. What some critics overlook, however, is the potential risk of escalating tensions through direct confrontation. Trudeau's measured response might reflect a calculated decision to keep trade negotiations on track, particularly with Canada's economy heavily dependent on U.S. markets. Diplomacy is often about timing, and Trudeau could be reserving a more assertive stance for moments when it carries the greatest impact, such as during formal negotiations or public announcements designed to sway global opinion. The criticism is compounded by comparisons to Trudeau's handling of other international disputes. His strong response to India, where he accused their government of involvement in a high-profile killing, stands in stark contrast to his subdued approach with Trump. This perceived inconsistency has led to growing frustration among Canadians. Diplomacy in contrast. The Mexican response. While Canada has taken a measured approach, Mexico's response to similar threats from Trump provides an interesting contrast. Faced with U.S. pressure over trade and border issues, Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum issued a firm statement asserting Mexico's sovereignty and demanding respect. Mexico's firm stance is rooted in its historical experience of navigating power dynamics with its northern neighbor. Over the years, Mexico has refined its ability to use strong rhetoric while balancing it with pragmatic policy moves to protect its interests. This approach reflects a recognition that assertive diplomacy, when backed by clear strategies, can often yield favorable results even in the face of challenging negotiations. This assertive stance highlights a different diplomatic strategy, one that prioritizes national pride over the risk of escalating tensions. For Canadians, Mexico's approach raises a critical question. Should Trudeau adopt a firmer tone when dealing with Trump, or does Canada's diplomatic strategy ultimately yield better long-term results? The stakes for sovereignty and pride. At its heart, this controversy goes beyond trade. Trump's remark about Canada being a U.S. state strikes at the core of national identity and pride. While Canada and the United States maintain a close relationship, Canadians deeply value their sovereignty and independence. Any comment undermining that independence, whether intended as a joke or not, stirs strong emotions. This incident also highlights the delicate balance Canada must maintain in asserting its sovereignty while relying on the United States for economic stability. For many Canadians, this isn't just about rebuffing Trump's comment, it's about standing firm in the face of a broader trend of power dynamics that favor larger nations. As smaller countries often struggle to assert their voices on the global stage, Canada's response carries a symbolic weight that extends far beyond its borders. This isn't just an issue for politicians. Across the country, Canadians are reacting with a mix of humor, anger, and calls for action. Memes and debates dominate social media, reflecting a nation grappling with how to respond to this perceived slight. Economic diversification. A long-term solution. One of the lessons from this situation is the need for Canada to reduce its reliance on the United States as a trading partner. While the economic ties between the two countries are deeply entrenched, diversification could provide Canada with greater resilience against policy shifts and political instability. Canada has already made efforts in this direction, forging trade agreements with the European Union and the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership countries. However, more work is needed to create a robust network of trade partners that lessens the impact of U.S. policy decisions. The path forward. Canada's next steps. Justin Trudeau's government faces critical decisions in the weeks and months ahead. Addressing Trump's 51st state comment directly could reaffirm Canada's sovereignty while maintaining diplomatic decorum. At the same time, Canada must continue engaging in constructive trade negotiations to avoid the devastating effects of tariffs. Domestically, strengthening Canadian industries and supporting small businesses can help the country withstand external shocks. Transparency with Canadians about the government's strategy will also be crucial for maintaining public trust during this challenging time. The global impact of Trump's leadership style. Donald Trump's bold and unpredictable style has once again shaken the norms of diplomacy. For Canada, his return to power presents both challenges and opportunities. How Trudeau navigates these turbulent waters will define not only Canada's economic future but also its standing on the world stage. As we've explored today, Donald Trump's remarks and tariff threats have thrown the U.S. Canada relationship into the spotlight, leaving Canada at a crossroads. The 51st state comment might have been made with humor, but its implications cut deep into questions of national pride, sovereignty, and diplomacy. Thank you for watching Canada Chronicles. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, comment, and share your thoughts below. We want to hear from you. How should Canada respond to Trump's actions? If you're new to the channel, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update on the stories shaping Canada's future. See you in the next video.